Imagine this. It's just before Christmas, quiet New Jersey suburb. There's a 12-year-old girl, and she's 9 months pregnant. She goes up to her room, goes to bed.
And the next morning, she's just gone.
Completely vanished, no sign of struggle, nothing. Apparently her bed was even made up with pillows under the covers to look like she was still asleep.
It's instantly chilling, isn't it? And that's the start, the really baffling start of the Celina Mays case. She disappeared December 16th, 1996, from Willingboro, New Jersey.
Right, and this isn't just a missing person case, is it? It feels like peeling back layers.
Oh, absolutely. This is a deep dive into something really unsettling. You've got family secrets, this intense religious group, and just questions that have been hanging in the air for, what, over 25 years now?
Exactly. So for you listening, we're trying to get into those hidden parts of the story, the emotions, the things left unsaid, the real human side of it all. And it's timely, too, because Celina would have turned 40 this past May. Her stepsister, Nori Mays, is really pushing to keep the story alive.
It's so important that she is. Celina's story starts back in May 1984, Miami, Florida. Her parents were C.J. Mays and Lynn Vittel.
And their relationship wasn't exactly stable from the sounds of it.
No, not at all. Reports describe it as chaotic, lots of drug and alcohol issues, reports of domestic violence, too. It was sadly a really unstable environment for a child to be born into.
But things changed a bit later. They separated.
Yeah, in 1989. And this seemed like a positive turn, especially for Celina. Her mom, Lynn, she got sober. She started working, housekeeper, custodian, and really built a stable life. It sounds like Celina actually had a period of, real happiness then.
A bit of calm. That's good to hear. What about CJ, the father?
He apparently got sober, too. He moved up to Willingboro, New Jersey, and lived with his sister, Sarita Smith.
Sarita Smith. She was the pastor, right, of that church?
That's the one, Gospel of Christ Ministries in Mount Holly. CJ actually became the accountant for the church. So on the surface, maybe things looked like they were turning around for him, too, within that community.
But Lynn's family, Celina's maternal side, they weren't so sure about this church.
No, they had serious concerns. They apparently felt it was like a cult. That's the word they used. Lynn reportedly tried hard to keep Celina away from its influence.
And then just total tragedy strikes.
Yeah. In 1994, when Celina was only 10, her mom, Lynn, just died. Suddenly, a brain aneurysm. Her whole world is turned upside down.
Oh, 10 years old? That's devastating. And then a custody battle.
A really bitter one between CJ and Lynn's family. Lynn's side brought up CJ's past, the abuse, the substance issues. They desperately didn't want him to get custody.
But he argued he was different now. Clean, married, part of the church.
Exactly. He also argued that Lynn's family was biased against him because of his race. And, the court sided with CJ. He got full custody.
So at 10, after losing her mom, Celina moves in with her dad, her new stepmom, a vet, and her aunt Sarita, the pastor, in this communal church home.
Right. It wasn't just a new house. It was a totally different world. Extremely strict rules. No TV, no dating, no dancing, things like that. She was pulled out of public school, homeschooled by the church. Her mom's family said they barely had contact after she moved in. CJ claimed that was Celina's choice, but who knows?
It sounds incredibly isolating. CJ himself admitted she had a hard time adjusting, right?
You did. It sounds like a really, really difficult transition into this very sheltered, very controlled life.
And then on top of everything else, the pregnancy.
Yeah. In March 1996, Celina was just 11 years old when she got pregnant.
11. It's just hard to even process. Living in that strict environment, how? And CJ's reaction.
He said he was hurt, disappointed. He kept asking her who the father was, but she just wouldn't say. Totally clammed up was the phrase used.
Did she tell anyone?
Eventually, she told her doctor. Said the father was a 16-year-old boy, someone not involved with the church. But she never gave a name to CJ or anyone in the family.
The pressure she must have been under. The fear, maybe.
You have to imagine. And despite this, she was going to doctor's appointments, taking prenatal vitamins. But the support at home seems, absent.
Absent how?
Reports say the family bought absolutely nothing for the baby. Nothing. And get this, they apparently refuse to even buy Celina maternity clothes that would fit her.
Seriously. That's more than just lack of support. That feels actively neglectful, or like they were trying to pretend it wasn't happening.
It suggests a really strange dynamic, doesn't it? Denial, maybe shame, maybe something else entirely.
Yeah.
It paints a picture of the kind of psychological pressure she was under.
And CJ kept pushing about the father, mentioning a paternity test.
Yeah, which reportedly made Celina angry. And you just have to think about the atmosphere in that house and that church community, the whispers, the judgment. It must have been unbearable for her.
An impossible situation for a child. Which brings us to that night, December 15th, 1996.
Right. A Sunday. Celina was 9 months pregnant by then. Spent the day at church, like usual. Evening service got canceled. They went home, had dinner. After dinner, Celina apparently put her plate in the sink, said goodnight to CJ, kissed him goodnight, went upstairs around 11 p.m. Her family remembered her last words to them were just, "Thanks for everything."
Thanks for everything. That sounds ominous in hindsight.
Doesn't it? And that was it, the last time her family saw her.
So the next morning, December 16th, the stepmother, Yvette, asks the little stepsister, Nori, who is only 4, to go wake Celina up.
Yeah. And Nori goes in and finds, not Celina, but pillows. Pillows under a sheet, made to look like someone was sleeping there.
Chilling. Just chilling. Nori tells Yvette they call CJ at the church. He confirms she's not there. She's missing.
She's missing. But they don't call the police right away.
That's the part that always gets me. They find her gone on the morning of the 16th. But CJ doesn't call the Willingboro police until the 17th, over 24 hours later.
Yeah, it's a huge red flag in any investigation. That
Yeah.
first 24, 48 hours, that's critical time. You lose potential witnesses, maybe surveillance footage gets erased, physical evidence disappears or gets contaminated.
Right.
Any head start someone has, it's hard to overcome.
And didn't CJ initially leave out a pretty crucial detail when he did call?
He did. He didn't mention she was 9 months pregnant.
What? Why would he do that?
It's hard to say for sure, but because he didn't mention it, the police initially treated it like a typical teenage runaway situation. They figured, okay, it's near the holidays, maybe she'll turn up. It completely delayed a serious, urgent response.
Unbelievable. That changes everything. What about her stuff? Did she take anything?
That's another strange part.
Yeah.
She left behind her prenatal vitamins, which seems odd if you're 9 months pregnant and running away. Left her favorite purse, her CD player, things you'd think she might take.
But something was missing.
A red jacket was gone. CJ's theory was that she ran away specifically to avoid the paternity issue, the DNA test that would likely happen after the baby was born.
Okay, but a 12-year-old, 9 months pregnant, running away with just a jacket, leaving her vitamins, does that really track?
It feels like a stretch, doesn't it? Especially given how advanced her pregnancy was. It sounds more like a convenient story, maybe shifting the focus onto Celina rather than the circumstances she was in.
So when the police did find out she was pregnant and started taking it seriously, what happened? Did the family cooperate then?
That's where things got even more difficult. Police searched the area, checked hospitals, but they hit a wall with the family. Reports say the family refused to let them search the house.
Refused.
And refused to let them search the church. It apparently took over a month before the police could even interview all the family members living in that house. They even tried to get a search warrant for the home, but it was denied by a judge.
Denied. Why would it be denied? Not enough probable cause.
Presumably.
Yeah.
It's frustrating, but without clear evidence of a crime committed inside the house at that point, getting a warrant can be tough. But the lack of cooperation was really stark.
It absolutely fuels suspicion, doesn't it? The police started thinking maybe the family was hiding something. Or someone.
Exactly. The theory emerged that maybe they were hiding Celina, or knew where she was, possibly to protect the baby's father. And then you had former church members starting to talk.
About the church itself and Sarita Smith.
Yeah, describing it as a cult, saying Sarita, CJ's sister, the pastor, ruled with an iron fist. Total control over everything and everyone. That kind of description, that level of control, it definitely makes you wonder what could happen behind closed doors.
Did CJ have an explanation for not cooperating?
He denied they weren't cooperating. He claimed the police were biased against them because of their race.
Was there anything to back up that claim of bias from other sources?
You know, it's a really serious claim and always worth considering. But based on the sources we looked at, there wasn't independent corroboration of that bias in this specific case. It mostly seems like CJ's response to the police's suspicion about their lack of cooperation.
And Sarita Smith, the pastor aunt, she actually spoke publicly about Celina.
She did. And it was pretty shocking, honestly. She called Celina manipulative, said she was just so much a woman as she was a girl. Justified it by saying Celina waited to reveal the pregnancy, so it couldn't have been rape or molestation.
That's a disturbing way to talk about your missing pregnant 12-year-old niece.
Right. She basically said Celina ran off because she was ashamed. And then you hear from Nori Mays, the stepsister, that when she was only 8, she was told Celina slept around and got pregnant and then ran away. That narrative was clearly being pushed within the family.
Just awful. What about Celina's other family, her mom's side?
They had a completely different reaction. They immediately suspected CJ and his family were involved, that they weren't telling the truth. They even set up a P.O. box for tips, trying to get information from outside that church circle. A total split in how the two sides of the family reacted.
Which just deepens the mystery. And then theories started flying around, some really dark ones.
Very dark. One theory, pretty persistent, is that Celina actually died during childbirth inside that house, and that her body was hidden maybe to protect the father's identity. There were even whispers about a supposed church midwife who handled secret births, though no one's ever confirmed who that might be.
That's horrifying to even consider. A cover-up of that magnitude.
And then things got even stranger. Remember Sean Smith? Sarita's son, Celina's cousin, who also lived in the house.
Yeah. What about him?
Well, in January 1998, about a year after Celina vanished, he was arrested for raping two other teenage girls from the church, one 13, one 16.
Oh my God. And there were rumors about him and Celina.
There were. Rumors had already been going around that he might be the father of Celina's baby. One friend of Celina's even claimed Celina had told her that.
Did CJ say anything about that?
CJ denied Sean was involved with Celina, but interestingly, he did acknowledge that Sean had gotten a couple of girls at the church pregnant.
Wow. So even if CJ denied the link to Celina, he knew Sean was preying on young girls in the church.
It seems that way. It's crucial to state, though, that police never officially linked Sean Smith to Celina's pregnancy or her disappearance, despite the rumors in his later conviction.
Still, it paints a terrifying picture of the environment, just layers of potential danger. But there was a more hopeful theory, too. The one Nori likes.
Yeah, Nori holds on to hope for this one. The idea that maybe Celina's mom, Lynn, before she died, had arranged for someone to help Celina escape the church, to get her somewhere safe where nobody could find her. It's a lifeline, a hope for a different outcome.
A desperate hope. And then that weird online message last year?
Right, 2023. Someone claiming to be a former church member posts online, Celina didn't run away, she was taken, we all knew. And then boom, the account is deleted hours later.
Just adds another layer of intrigue, doesn't it? More questions. Any credible sightings over the years?
There have been claims, yeah. Seeing her give birth in a hospital, seeing her in Florida with an older man, but none of them have ever been confirmed. None led anywhere, just dead ends.
So after 27 years, Celina Mays is still officially missing. The case is still open.
It is. Police say they still hope she and her child, who'd be 27 now, might be alive somewhere. There's no definitive proof of foul play, despite all the suspicion.
But so many key people are gone now.
That's a huge obstacle in cold cases. CJ Mays died in 2017. Sarita Smith, the pastor, died in 2018. And Sean Smith, the cousin, died in 2020. Any secrets they held, any information, likely died with them.
It really feels like Celina's life was just difficult from the start. Unstable home, losing her mom, then this isolating church environment, the pregnancy. The people who were supposed to protect her just didn't.
They failed her, fundamentally. It's a chilling story about secrets, silence, the power dynamics in closed communities, and just knowledge that was clearly there but suppressed or ignored.
So we're left with this. A 12-year-old girl about to give birth vanishes. A family that delayed reporting her missing didn't seem to cooperate fully. A controlling church. Key figures now deceased. It's still unsolved.
And the big question hangs there. With so many people so close to her, living under that roof, with all the weirdness, the conflicting stories, the lack of cooperation, how has the truth stayed hidden for almost 3 decades? What else is being protected? Who is protecting it?
It really makes you think, what do you listening believe happened to Celina Mays and her child? The silence in this case is just deafening.